Truckers. Part 2. The night was thick, like old motor oil. The road to Hollow Creek twisted between dense groves of trees, the tops swaying like they were whispering over our heads. We walked in silence. Chester was on my left. His breathing had gotten noticeably louder after the first mile. I knew he was at his limit, and I could feel my own legs turning to wood with every step. "Just a little more," I muttered, more to myself than to him. He didn't respond. 5 miles in, the road split. One path led uphill into a forested ridge. The other dipped down toward a faint light. I pulled out the GPS. It flickered, loaded, then froze. "Dead," I said. "So what's it gonna be? Up or down?" Chester crouched, resting on one knee, and pointed to the pale glow in the sky. "Light means people. People means help." "I hope it's quiet there," I said, and instantly regretted it. Chester slowly turned his head. His eyes were cloudy, full of something deep and ancient. He raised a trembling finger to his lips, clearly warning me to stay quiet. I froze. At first, nothing. Then, a sound. Uneven. Not an engine, not wind, more like a rasp, or like gravel being scraped by something heavy and wet, dragging itself forward. I turned involuntarily. "Jesus Christ," I mouthed, silently. A hunched creature was trailing us, sniffing the ground with wide simian nostrils, tracing our footprints with its long fingers, creeping behind us on all fours. "This way," Chester whispered, and shoved me toward the trees. We slid off the shoulder into the black. The trees stood like old men rising for their final prayer. Between them, rotting leaves and wet grass, thick with the sour stink of sweat and mold. A horrifying scream tore through the woods. The thing had hurt us. But the worst part wasn't that. The worst part was when it got a response. From everywhere. Left, right, ahead, behind, above, below. The same chilling howl echoed from all directions. We were surrounded. I clamped a hand over my mouth, choking back the whimper in my throat. Chester whispered, "They're everywhere. We need to move." We crawled through the brush like wounded animals. I felt branches tearing my face, ripping out hair, and somewhere behind us, silhouettes began to move. Tall, twisted. They stopped right where we'd been a minute earlier and started making sounds. Christ, they were arguing. Then, click. All of their heads snapped in our direction. Click. What the hell? Chester, was that you? I whipped around toward the sound, but it wasn't Chester. There, right above us in the tree, sat a fat squirrel clutching a giant walnut. She munched away, completely unaware that the next sound she made might be her last. Click. 2 creatures lunged in an arc, flanking the noise from left and right. A third bolted straight toward us. I thought that was it. I was done, but then Chester tackled me, pushing my face into the dirt. The blind monkey thing sprinted past us, no more than a yard away, and leapt up into the tree. There was a sickening crunch. The squirrel didn't even have time to squeak before those disgusting fingers crushed every bone in her little body. "Keep crawling," I rasped. My friend nodded. Like snakes, we slid through the grass, then crawled on all fours. After what felt like half an hour, we lifted our heads, desperate to find some kind of landmark. Suddenly, I saw light in the sky, faint, like someone had flipped on a porch light. Half a mile later, we finally saw rooftops. "That's Hollow Creek," I whispered with relief. But Chester wasn't listening. He was staring at a silhouette hanging from a tree just above us, sucking the air greedily. We'd been found. Damn it, the thing had tracked us. But how? My trembling fingers reached into my pocket for my folding knife. I pulled it out and tried to open it silently. Click. The blade snapped open with a metallic snap. I gripped the handle tight. I knew what was coming. A devastating blow crashed down on my shoulders. My knees gave out. I hit the ground. I swung blindly. Then, darkness. Ray, wake the hell up! No time to nap! I opened my eyes, groggy. "I'm alive?" "You're alive, brother, but that ugly bastard..." Chester gave a strange half-smile. I turned my head. 5 meters away, the creature lay in a pool of its own blood. It was still alive, barely, shaking, trying to yank the knife from its throat. "You finished it, man!" Chester clapped me on the back and helped me to my feet. We walked up to the dying thing. "What the hell are you?" I asked, staring at this failed experiment. A skinny, long-limbed primate turned its eyeless face toward me and growled, voice gurgling with blood. "I hate you. I hate all of you." We took a step back in horror. With its last strength, the creature yanked the knife free and let out a deafening, dying scream. It echoed through the entire forest. "Run!" Chester shouted, grabbing me and dragging me toward the town. We ran. I don't remember how. All I heard was my heartbeat pounding in my ears, my lungs burning like hellfire. We sprinted downhill toward the light, constantly looking back, but nothing followed. We reached Hollow Creek just before dawn, and yeah, there was light. Street lamps glowed along the main road. Neon signs flickered in shop windows, but the streets were empty. Too empty. "Where is everyone?" Chester muttered, spitting on the pavement. I pressed up against the cafe window. Everything inside looked normal. Cups, furniture, newspapers on the counter. But no people. "Maybe they evacuated," I whispered. "Or got taken," Chester replied. We walked slowly down the street, listening for anything. The town felt frozen in time. No dogs, no kids, no cars. And then we heard a radio. From an open window came static, then a voice. "If you can hear this, don't respond. Don't make a sound. They can hear. They're learning. Fight for your survival. And God help us all." Chester stepped closer to the window, and then the curtain moved. A child stared at us, but his eyes were pitch black, like wet asphalt, and there were no pupils. He just stood there and smiled. To be continued.